All right, it's Dracel from the North Metro chapter of the Immersion 100. I am here with.
Sam Foster.
So we had our MOT session today where he came to speak to some of our mentees, provide them insight, and allow them to ask some questions. So what was your experience like?
It was great. Those kids asked a lot of great questions, and I'm very inspired. And some of them were smarter than I was at that age, so it was good. It was really good.
Were there any questions that caught you off guard?
Um, I think when I believe it was Dash asked, "What is your experience as a black person running in the race?" Or like, where do you think people are disadvantaged? Essentially, asking a question about how minorities are
Yeah,
disadvantaged. That was like really impactful to me because that it's the unspoken thing in this race.
most
Yeah.
definitely. Especially, I feel like with a lot of our younger people, we kind of overestimate what they're thinking or underestimate what they're thinking with how they're viewing the world, and these are things that they really want to speak about. So, like, what does that mean to you as a candidate running this race? You're representing multiple different types of stereotypes, stigmas, trying to break that barrier. So, what does that mean for you, and what does that look like for you?
So it's just two things really, like I have to work as hard as I possibly can, not only for what you mentioned, but I'm also up against an incumbent. So got to do the best you can either way because all the cards are stacked against you no matter what. So that's really what I'm approaching the race as, just doing everything that I can, trying to work with the best people, and just making it happen. We got 10 days.
Okay,
Yeah.
and get into that a little bit further. I know we just did our introductions, but
Mhm.
I want to take a moment in this interview to ask, like, who are you and like what do you represent?
I'm Sam Foster. I don't represent anything yet, but I'm running for mayor of Marietta, and I live in Marietta. I've lived here for about 6 years. I'm also on the side an IT person. I love technology. I love computers. So that's really everything about me. Oh, and I like bikes too. I ride my bike all around town.
Oh yeah, I know earlier we were
Mm.
speaking to some of the mentees about some of the great things you do around the community. You're a very strong advocate for bike lanes, walking lanes, and you actually host your own event. Can you speak on that a little bit further?
So, for any of you wonderful people watching, we host a weekly bike ride, 10 a.m., right in front of the Marietta Square Market Food Hall every single Saturday, rain or shine. So, if you or your kids or anybody that you know would love to bike around the community, have some fun, come out every Saturday, 10 a.m., right in front of the Marietta Square Market Food Hall.
Yeah. One thing I kind of gained from like all your answers
Hmm.
is you're very big on community outreach, mentorship. You being here today, what was your experience like? What being in this type of environment?
It's interesting, because I really I didn't have that mentorship when I was younger. There wasn't exactly somebody guiding me on where I could go or telling me about all of the things that are stacked against me in such a blatant way. So me being there, even though I'm a little bit younger,
Yeah.
being able to talk to people who are going to be the next generation about what they're going to face and what I faced when I was their age, and hopefully guiding them in the right direction. I hope it was very impactful. It was very surreal.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I think you just keyed in on something that was pretty important. You said you didn't have a lot of mentorship.
Mm.
So, with you not being a person that had a lot of mentorship growing up, how did you get to this point?
Failure.
Okay. Dive a little bit deeper.
So you know when you don't have somebody there watching over you, and that doesn't mean you don't have good people in your life, but when you are exploring different ways that your life can go, it's always wonderful to have somebody there who's done it before and can like give you insight into what that's going to be. And even while we're doing this race in real time, I'm going through that again. So having somebody there to help you make it so you don't make as many mistakes as they did going into that position is so important because some of the mistakes that you make you could have been avoided if somebody was standing over your shoulder like hey don't do that.
Yeah, most definitely, most
Yeah.
definitely. So I kind of want to kind of switch this conversation. So as you interacted with our students, you spoke about a lot of different topics that would involve funding, but I kind of want to kind of tailor them together because I don't think a lot of times a lot of politicians speak on mentorship
Hmm.
and economic empowerment in the same light and how those connect. So from your experience running this race and interacting with some of our mentees, Like, how do you see that connection, especially with some of the questions they had asked you today with potholes and a lot of things that require some type of funding or some type of economics that would be involved into that?
So the biggest thing that I think we can do for people is allow them to change their own community. I think that we're locked out of a lot of that right now because sometimes maybe you can fill the pothole, but you're not allowed to.
Mm,
So empowering people to feel like they can open up their own business or they could do this or that. And when you talk about mentorship, that is where you don't have to ask everybody to do every little thing that you want to do. There's somebody in your community who can help you and they can help you start your own. And it starts a domino effect where little communities can spring up and do their own things. So community empowerment in that sense is allowing us as a city, allowing people to do the things that they want to do without as much friction with the government.
okay, and I just want to make sure we preference this so that people don't just run with that. You do mean that with some level of limitations or some type of monitoring, right?
I was about to stop at end of my statement and
Yeah.
say for regular people. We're
Yes.
talking about everyday average people. You still will have to follow rules, but if we're talking about the example I gave where somebody had to go in front of council, get a yes or no vote on cutting flowers in their house, like that's a little strange.
Yeah. Most
And
definitely.
now
Most
their
definitely.
address is public on the city website because I had to file for like the it's wild. So when we're talking about cutting hair or
Yeah.
opening up a salon or packaging something in your
Mm,
house, and that could be your own business and the community can spring out from there and let that snowball into something else, or even like having a part of your home be like a diner or something, or having it be a breakfast place,
yeah.
coffee shop. Those are some of the things I'm talking about. It, but if you want to open a coal power plant in your backyard, probably not. Let's not
Mm,
do that.
most definitely. Most definitely. And
Yeah.
kind of that all kind of speaks to community, right?
Mhm.
Is we're in an era where with technology, everybody's feeling disconnected. I know we had a conversation about people building their network, building that connection and that community back up. What are kind of your thoughts behind that and like how your principles and your ideologies kind of fit with what Marietta actually is?
So I guess off camera we had a little bit of conversation
Yeah.
about spontaneous interactions.
Yeah.
I think we need what we call third spaces. We need to build more of those places. You look closer to downtown Marietta, and you see a lot of places like coffee shops, whatever, just random places of gathering, and you get to see people spontaneously. If you live over a place like here, you don't really have that so often. So investing in places where people can just gather and they don't necessarily have to do anything but just be there.
Yeah.
I think that's going to allow people to see each other more, have more of those spontaneous interactions, build community, and that's why building parks is so important. It's obviously not on camera, but a place
Yeah.
like outside of this window is so important. We have a place downtown called Atherton Square. You just sit down at a
Yeah.
table, just doing your thing, and then it's like, oh, I see my friend. Oh, I see you. Oh, you
Yeah.
have a nice bike, and then that forms into this conversation. So, investing in more community spaces definitely is going to spark more of those interactions.
Okay. And I also don't want people to just say that we're just talking off the top of our heads.
Mhm.
Fun fact, we're both KSU alumni.
Okay.
I got my degree in mechatronics.
Mhm.
I believe you got yours in IT.
Mhm.
So with you have been a part of this community, you lived in Marietta 6 years, you went to Southern Poly slash Kennesaw State for those that know about the merger. What is your experience in this community and how has being a STEM student kind of shaped that for you? And how do you see that playing out in our environment and what you kind of see as improvements we can make?
So my experience when I first got here was really not being able to afford to live the way I wanted to, or afford everything I wanted to. Not necessarily that I was poor, but um, there was always a question of like, oh, I have to do X and Y to make sure I get over this line and blah blah blah,
Yeah.
and like I have to make sure I work as hard as possible in college so I have a successful job. Now I do, and in being in STEM, having that experience, and definitely one thing that it has taught me is that we don't have enough investment in the city into that section of the professional world. If you want a job in STEM, you have to go travel down to Atlanta or somewhere else in the metro Atlanta region. And that makes it so that we're losing a lot of that business from Marietta. And that means that you have to spend more time sitting in traffic, and less
Yeah.
time with your family or friends. So That's one thing I really notice is that we are not as a city investing in that
Yeah,
aspect of the professional world as much as we could be. Because I looked, there are no IT jobs in Marietta,
most definitely.
not any ones that are paying what I think I'm worth. So yeah.
Okay. And I know we're getting towards the end of this. So from your experience interacting with the Emerging 100 and the 100 Black Men of North Metro Atlanta and being a part of our MLT program, kind of what are your final takeaways from this?
The future is bright. We have younger people who are wanting to step up to be the next generation, and not only are they understanding that they're going to be in that role, they're preparing for it.
Yes.
Somebody like me, even though I'm here, obviously I'm running for mayor or whatever. I didn't plan to do any of this, but we have people in that room who are asking me, and they know they're going to be politicians when they're older, and it's just so awesome to see what the next generation is going to look like.
Okay. And then speak to our audience real quick.
Mm.
I want you to be able to connect with them for a moment. They're looking at you as a 24-year-old man that's the STEM student. What do you want to tell the kids? What do you want to tell the audience to let them know that you're the right person for the position?
I am just like you. I am a normal, regular person coming from a background that most likely a lot of you come from. And those are the types of people that you want representing you, not only in government, but on all the different places in your life. So whether it's me or whether it's you, we all need to be in positions where we are determining what's happening in our communities.
Okay, thank you for that. I look forward to seeing you some more, sir.
You will.
The Immersion 100 would love to have you back. I know our mentees loved you. They definitely want to speak to you more. Like this, I'm not saying this for the camera. He was giving his number out to the mentees and said, "Hey, call me. This is how you handle your business as a professional." So that goes a long way for us because a lot of times in these communities, these younger people aren't being developed in that way. And I see that that's more important to you than just running for the mayor position. You actually do want to help individuals. So we really do appreciate you coming out, giving our mentees like a viewpoint that they naturally didn't have. Even for me, when they said you was coming out, I never thought of running for a mayor position and then running for a mayor position at the age that you're at, making
Mhm.
those sacrifices. So we commend you for that.
Thank you.
And you got a home here. Whenever you want to come back, speak to our mentees. They definitely want to have you back.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, that's a wrap.
We did it.
All right.